Hello everyone and welcome back to Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever episode of BlackLodgeWrestling, the first of many, I hope. Thank you for watching or if you do wish to subscribe. First watch it and then decide. This is the show where we intellectually and critically discuss SmackDown and Raw every week, and we basically decide if it's a good show or if it's a bad show. And if we do give it a negative review, I have talked to my lawyer, Mike Rwanda, and he has said that I can't seek legal litigation per the Better Business Bureau's example set in the Supreme Court in 1969 against Jeremy Brown. And so, Vince McMahon, you can expect a subpoena to appear at your front step door anytime, any minute now. My name is William, by the way. I'm the host, and this is my co-host, Casey.
Hey.
Or Botch Mascara.
Botch Mascara here.
Thank you for being here at such short notice.
I did bring some toys here, memorabilia to review after the show, so stay tuned.
We'll only be reviewing SmackDown and Raw this week, maybe next week. Thank you.
No.
Okay. Raw was live from Toronto this week, where we opened up with a segment of Miss TB. Jason Jordan was scheduled to be the guest, but of course Kurt Angle came out and he said nobody. He said Jason Jordan is scheduled to be in a match with Curtis Axel. So instead, your guest will be Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar came out with Paul Heyman, and before Paul Heyman could even open his mouth, The Miz started saying all the stuff we've heard about how if Brock loses, he'll be leaving the WWE, and how unlikely it is that he'll win because of the Fatal 4-Way stipulation, that of course he doesn't have to get pinned in order to lose the title. And that's about it. I mean, the only other thing that happened is that Brock beat the shit out of everyone and left. Burn it down! Of course, we all know that what that signals. It's the theme song, the new entrance song of Seth Rollins, world famous. This was a rematch from last week, Seth versus Sheamus. Sheamus won with the roll-up thanks to a distraction from Cesaro. Of course, the real story here is what happened afterwards when Sheamus and Cesaro continued to beat the shit out of Seth, and Dean didn't come out despite people chanting his name, begging for him to come out and help Seth.
They were doing a segment where...
No, we're not reviewing your stupid toys.
Wait. Alright, can I introduce a new segment?
It's a toy related.
Alright, continue.
Rollins and Dean backstage. Seth is livid that Dean didn't come out to help. He's asking what I have to do for you to forgive me. Dean doesn't give him an answer, and he just walks away.
What would you do in Dean's shoes? Would you have gone out there, protected Seth Rollins' name?
If I'm Dean Ambrose, my character is supposed to be the lunatic fringe, so no, I wouldn't care about stuff like my image or if people like me or not. So no, I probably would have stuck backstage. But if I'm me, yeah, I'm a good person. Later on, we had a match, Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro. This was actually a pretty good match. It had a pretty good length, good build-up, good psychology, all around good action. It ended with the roll-up from Dean to Cesaro. It was actually a reverse finish from what we saw earlier with Seth and Sheamus, where this time Sheamus was trying to distract Dean, but he managed to escape the evil attempts from a roll-ups from Cesaro, and he rolled Cesaro instead for a pin. Then Cesaro and Sheamus continued to beat the shit out of Dean, and Seth came out to help, and he was able to ward off the evildoers. And afterwards, they were standing in the middle of the ring. People were begging for Dean to extend an olive branch, and he finally did. He extended his shield fist bump, but this time Seth didn't reciprocate. We're 1 week away from, or a couple weeks away from SummerSlam. I expect the two of them to be booked into a tag team match against Sheamus and Cesaro for SummerSlam. I think that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. A good royal match. We have royal blood here.
I wouldn't go that far.
Royal, like a rumble.
No. But before Dean Ambrose and versus Cesaro, we did have Jason Jordan scheduled to go up against Exzel. Jason shows up to the ring with his amazing Mario Paint entrance song. We cut to Kurt Angle backstage with Curtis Axel, and some amazing acting here.
Is he ready to go?
Listen, I don't think I can clear him tonight. It's hurt pretty bad.
Luckily, there's a jobber backstage.
There's a jobber like 2 feet away from Kurt Angle.
He just took a couple steps, and hey, you, what's your name? Jean-Pierre Goulet.
But the weird thing was that he was just standing there looking at the wall.
Well, that's what a lot of, that's how, they pay a lot of wrestlers just to be there in case. And they hire local enhancement talent just in case. In case their in-house enhancement talent is out of action for some reason. Like Brock Lesnar being the shit of it. So we have the match set. Jean-Pierre Goulet, home country hero, going up against All-American Jason Jordan. In Toronto, unsurprised, Jean-Pierre Goulet got cheered so much and everyone was booing the poorly booked Jason Jordan. Squash match, as you would expect. Jean-Pierre Goulet, sadly, did not have his Rocky moment, as Booker T or Corey Graves put it. Jason wins, and goofy smile from Jason.
Extreme emotions running high.
Extreme emotion running through the arena. Bayley, injured, separated shoulder, suffered last week in her match against Nia Jax. She won't be able to contend for the title at SummerSlam against Alexa Bliss.
Also, she won't, for the life of her, look at the video when she got injured.
Charlie Caruso did point out that very accurately. Very good journalism out there, Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah. But I suggested Bayley to look at the video one more time, at least once, to
Look at it, Bayley.
Yeah, just to make sure that she does not make the same mistake.
Don't make the same mistake. Look at the video. Look at the video, Bayley. Bayley, turn around. Hey. Bayley addresses the crowd. He says, I know this is gonna sound cheesy, but the thing that's kept me going is the love from you guys. We hear mostly cheers, a few faint boos, but then she made the mistake of addressing those who are booing, and they got louder. They got really loud. There was like this escalation where, the crowd was booing a little bit, and then she tried to address those who were booing, and they just started booing more, and then she tried to one-up them and try to get more aggressive against her. Very uncomfortable.
We do have a great lawyer who could probably help Bayley out in sorting out her options for the next couple of weeks. What they don't tell wrestlers is that they have options.
They do have options.
So, whatever. Bayley, call me, and not just for the lawyer.
Okay. Yeah. Bizarro World here in Toronto, according to the commentators, they are booing Bayley because this is Bizarro World. It has nothing to do with Bayley's poor booking as a babyface. This could actually, I don't mean to sound insensitive, but this could be sort of a blessing in disguise for Bayley. This crowd reaction she got from Toronto wasn't very unexpected or very surprising. And I think with her absence, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, maybe she comes back in a few weeks, few months, and it could be like a clean start for her.
Now, I have another point. Usually you don't expect this from Canadian audience members. Usually Canadians are nice people.
Didn't they say that on SmackDown?
What?
Yeah, John Cena's promo. He said when they were calling Baron Corbin a
Oh.
dumpster fire,
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, Canadians are very nice, so maybe dumpster fire means it's a compliment here."
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
So maybe they were booing Bayley as a compliment. Enzo Amore comes out and gets a huge pop. Maybe this really is Bizarre World. Introduces the Big Show. And then the Bullet Club, not the Bullet Club, just the regular club come out and they have a tag team match. The middle of the match, Enzo is the legal man. Big Cass comes out for a distraction. Big Show, leaning on the apron, gets a big boot from Carl or from Gallows. This takes him out of the match for the remainder of the match. And Enzo gets pinned. After the match, Cass starts beating the shit out of Big Show. Enzo tries to help, but as he's proven useless for the last couple weeks, why should things be any different this week? Luckily, he runs around and buys enough time for Big Show to regain some of his energy back, some of his strength, and he gives Big Cass his trademark knockout knockout punch.
What was the purpose for this breakup? I mean, behind the scenes, you want to push Cass. You want to give him a big push. Get him up there. But then you have Enzo going down to the Blenzo, to the blender.
Is that what you called it, blender?
Blenzo. Well, I was doing a play on words.
It's not play if you make up words.
Well, my point is, what good is this gonna do Enzo Amore, a certified G,
And
bona fide
chicken fucker. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns in the last man standing match.
Hey,
this match.
Can I just feel like I haven't been talking that much, and can I just read your notes off?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we're talking about the Strowman versus Reigns last man standing match. Why is this last match? This should be
sets up table. Roman
at the end of last match stand.
Whoa, what?
Last man. Okay, wait. Last man standing match.
Roman puts him
wait,
on
let
the
me
table
start.
with Samoa drop.
Strowman.
They
Start
start
calling
brawling
it
and
Strowman.
wrestling by
Now
Joe interferes.
Wait, is it Strowman or
and get
Strowman?
knocked out at the same time. Drop kicking by the timekeeper's area.
Alright, I'll try it.
What?
I'll try it.
Dude, your notes are dumb.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a system. Strowman versus Roman Reigns, the last man standing match. My first question is, why is this the last match? This should be at the end of the second hour. Didn't they learn anything from last week?
You okay?
Yeah. Just need to get that out of my system. This was a pretty good match. Fine way to close up a 3-hour show, I guess. Certainly better than the main event we got at SmackDown, which we'll get to. I thought the match was gonna end by Samoa Joe coming and interfering and basically knocking the two of them out so that it would end in a draw. But I was only half right. Samoa Joe did interfere at the end, but Braun won.
Maybe he does have a heart, after all.
Maybe. And it is said that that day Samoa Joe's heart grew 3 times its size, and he got a heart attack.
If I were WWE, I would put Samoa Joe on a rigorous, slimming down.
Okay. It's this thing you have against heavier people.
Oh, come on, just call them how they are. Call it how it is. Fatsos.
Stop it, no. No, he's a very talented and athletic man.
Chubby hubbies.
A chubby hubby who could probably beat your ass.
Yeah, I just run away from him.
But if you watch all 3 hours of Raw, you're probably wondering where are all the segments you assholes didn't talk about. This is Rapid Fire, the segment where we talk about exactly that. This night we had 2 triple threat matches to set up 2 women who will face off next week to see who will face Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam in 2 weeks. First triple threat, Sasha Banks versus 2 jobbers. Who do you think won?
Finn Balor promo interrupted by Bray Wyatt. I wish I knew what they were feuding about. Next, Nia Jax versus 2 jobbers. Who do you think won?
Goldust.
Big Cass in the backstage segment with Kurt Angle. They set up a match for SummerSlam where Enzo Amore is going to be up in a star cage. It's going to be a Big Show versus Big Cass. A lot of bigs. I don't care about this fucking feud anymore.
And that is it, motherfuckers! For Rapid Fire.
Next we had SmackDown Live in Toronto. The show opened up with the Cena promo where he started off by putting Nakamura over, and then he got interrupted by Baron Corbin, who came out to basically thank him for being a good Samaritan. And
May I just say, we should probably call him Mr. Money in the Banks.
he is Mr. Money in the Bank. Trademark.
Or Mr. Money.
Registered trademark. That's also a registered trademark.
Can we say it?
I think this falls under fair use.
You can't say Super Bowl on the radio.
Unless it's fair use.
Wait, we need to call our lawyer. Make sure we can say Money in the Bank?
I think we can say Money in the Bank. If we can say SmackDown and Raw, we can say Money in the Bank.
I don't want to get into a double litigation with Mr. Vince McMahon, so I think we should check.
Yes, go ahead and check.
I checked. We can say Money in the Bank, referring to Mr. Money in the Bank, Baron Corbin.
Okay.
You can continue.
Well, we could refer to him as Mr. Money in the Bank, or we could refer to him as the people of Toronto have dubbed him, Dumpster Fire. Cena was cutting a promo on Corbin. Notice the signs held up with one of the audience members that said Baron Corbin is the Dumpster Fire. Continued to point that out and started a Dumpster Fire chant.
Hopefully leading to a Dumpster Fire match.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. First one to be thrown, or
It combines the best of a dumpster match against Hellfire. What's it called? But the match is booked: Cena versus Corbin for SummerSlam.
there we go. That quickly. Thank you, Daniel Bryan.
Thank you, Daniel Bryan, indeed. Usos versus Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn. Ty Dillinger and Sami Zayn.
No love for Sami Zayn. No love for Ty Dillinger.
This could have gone differently for them, but they did make the mistake of being born in Canada and of the show taking place in Toronto.
The Usos win, and who came out, William?
Big E, to distract them.
Yeah,
And then Xavier and Kofi Kingston came from behind to attack them.
out of nowhere.
They get the chairs, and right as they're about to hit them with the chairs, the Usos managed to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Randy backstage interview, he says something about how he didn't have anything to do for SummerSlam, and Rusev also doesn't have anything to do for SummerSlam. So hey, why don't we hook up for SummerSlam and both have something to do? He's scheduled to go up against Jinder Mahal later in the night. The fourth iteration of this match we've seen in the last at least couple months.
Well, thank God that was not the main event.
Oh no, it was.
What? Oh my God.
So of course he mentioned Rusev in his interview, and I'm sure Rusev isn't gonna come out in the main event to interfere and cost Randy Orton the match, so that Jinder can go over again. I'm sure it won't happen. Fashion Peaks! Charlotte Flair versus Lana. They showed some earlier footage from WWE.com where Lana was talking to Tamina and saying how she wanted to be a more charismatic Tamina. It's fine to set your standards a little bit low so you can have something to achieve and then kind of build on top of that.
Yeah.
And that's why she issued a challenge to Charlotte Flair. This one basically how you thought it would go.
Charlotte Flair won.
Charlotte Flair won, Lana tapping out to the figure 8. Of course, there is one thing that happened in this match that I'd be remiss if I weren't to point it out. At one point in the match, Lana tried to go for a sunset flip, at which point she accidentally pulled down on Charlotte's trunks, exposing her buttocks to the audience. Of course, those of us at home didn't get to see the full moon because of the camera angle that we were shown. But I guess if you really wanted to see her butt, you could probably find some footage back online from some random audience member cell phone. What are you doing? Are you looking up the footage?
No. God, no. I just got an email from my doctor. Well, I was worried I had chlamydia, so I went to get tested and I got my test results back. At first, I saw the email pop up in my cell phone. I got kind of excited, you know. Maybe yes, maybe no. And I opened my email and, well, it says I was positive for gonorrhea. Although later on I remembered positive is a good thing. So, there we have it.
No, actually you were right the first time. Positive is a bad thing in the medical community.
Oh.
Shane McMahon's rules of engagement. Shane McMahon is scheduled to be the special guest referee at the U.S. title match in SummerSlam between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. Here in this segment, Kevin Owens, who would probably normally get booed, not that much. People do like Kevin Owens despite him being
Canada.
He gets a big home country pop
Yeah.
from his home country audience.
Although he did diss Canada a lot.
He tried his best to diss Canada.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite examples here are when. So basically, the gist of this segment was Kevin Owens was trying to put a wedge between Shane McMahon and AJ Styles. Put some doubt into AJ Styles that maybe Shane McMahon wasn't the best referee for this match, that he wouldn't be able to represent his interest fairly, that he wouldn't be able to call the match down the middle, basically. And he made a lot of good points.
Because of the history between Shane and AJ.
And also, in a great example of continuity, he brought up footage from the WWE Network from Survivor Series 1998, I believe. So this was a great example of continuity from the WWE here. Too often it feels like they think that we don't have a good memory, that we forget things, that we have a 10-minute memory span, or that what was it saying?
You lost your train of thought?
Miss TV opened from Toronto this week.
No.
A lot of great heel work here from Kevin Owens when he tried to get his fellow Canadians to boo him, to no avail, but he tried. My favorite here was when he was talking about how there's a history of McMahon's screwing over Canadians in reference to the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
And people started cheering for Kevin and chanting, "You screwed Brett, you screwed Brett." But then no one said that he's not worried because Brett deserved it. And it would be bad PR for the company if they were to screw over another legendary Canadian.
Yeah.
So overall, great segment. I loved it.
Yeah. Oh, and Shane McMahon lost a little bit of love for AJ Styles at the end there.
At the end, a brawl did break.
Uh-huh.
AJ accidentally hit Shane with the Bayley kick
Yeah.
as Kevin Owens left and saw the work that he had done accomplished.
The true master.
True master manipulator. True masturbator. Naomi versus Carmella in a non-title match. The match ends with a surprise return from James Ellsworth, who pulls Naomi down from the top rope, interfering while the referee is checking on Carmella. This, of course, gives Carmella an opportunity to super kick Naomi, and she's able to pin her. Nakamura sit-down interview with Renee Young. He describes the amazing moment when he won the #1 contendership for the WWE, the prestigious title held by the prestigious Jinder Mahal. What a time to be alive. John Cena and Nakamura go at it on free TV, and we get to pay $9.99 for the chance to see Jinder Mahal go against Nakamura in one of the main events for one of the biggest pay-per-views of the month, of the year. Main event, finally, Raw. This is how you do it. You end with a shitty match. Didn't you learn anything from last week when you ended with that amazingly shitty match between Big Cass and Big Show? SmackDown has to teach you a couple of things here. Mahal versus Orton for the 400th time.
Jesus Christ.
The Singh brothers are nowhere to be seen this time. They're not in the arena. So, of course, Rusev isn't going to interfere, right?
No.
No. It's not like they're feuding, so why would he interfere? Crowd heavily favors Jinder in this match. Jinder from India, of course. Here's his Wikipedia page. Orton goes for an RKO on the announce table, but Jinder pushes him. I'm just trying to look for the part where Rusev interferes and costs Orton the match. There it is. Super kick from Jinder. Jinder goes for the Colossus, and Randy reverses into an RKO and pins him for a clean win. And wait,
Everything okay?
I think I forgot to. Where's the part where Rusev interferes to cost Randy the match?
Nowhere. That doesn't.
So
That
so they set up. So Jinder, people still think of as a jobber. Didn't have the Singh brothers there to help him out, and Randy was there to prove that Jinder
is a nobody.
is a nobody
Without the brothers.
without the Singh brothers, which we already knew. Wait, what was the point of this rematch?
Yeah, it's really weird what they're doing with
Jinder
Mahal.
who is scheduled to go up against Nakamura, who just won clean against John Cena last week.
like. You'd expect them to have him win this match,
Yeah,
to build him up.
build him up a little. Like, people still think he's a jobber, and
And not only that, this is the perfect opportunity to show Jinder Mahal by himself.
Exactly.
And have people say, you know what, that motherfucker, he's the deal, he's the big deal. But no.
And I can't be too hypocritical here. I was joking out all across the show how I thought that Rusev was going to interfere, and that would have been the sort of predictable thing to do. And I'm kind of glad they, in a sense, I gotta give them kudos for not going with the overly predictable finish, where Rusev just interferes and costs Orton the match. But this is still kind of weird. I don't know. It's just a weird main event. A boring main event that no one wanted, with a weird finish. A weird finish in that it wasn't a weird finish. You know what I mean? I guess we're just all used to weird finishes in the WWE. We don't get clean finishes anymore.
Yeah.
Every week we get a roll up. Hey, he won with a roll up, or hey.
Or did he or did he not?
He tried to interfere. I was actually gonna bring this up during the Seth Rollins segment when we talked about Seth Rollins. I don't remember the last time he used his finisher. I honestly don't. Is his new finisher the roll up? Rusev did show up eventually.
Too late, Rusev. You missed his cue.
You missed your cue, Rusev.
You missed his cue.
What were you doing? Randy slowly walks backwards, heading backstage.
Which is a weird way to walk.
I'm not looking behind me. Jinder, I beat you. Now the show's over and I'm safe from any perils. Good night, everyone. Oh, what? Rusev! Oh.
That's how it ended. Just, it went to black.
It was perfect timing. Perfect comedic timing. Rusev! And the show's over. And so is this show.
Hey guys, this is Botch Mascara for you. We got toy review time. So we've got first on the item list here is AJ Styles vinyl figure. The Pop WWE. Yeah.
Hey, are you almost done?
Yeah, I'm almost done. I'll be out in a sec.
I just need to grab some.
No, wait. No.